Hi, everybody. It is so good to see you. This room makes me so happy. This room makes me so happy. These are our leaders. This is our state. You are a core part of why I am so not just thankful and proud of our state, but why I am so excited about where we are going next. It's you, it's our educators. And by the way, can we also give a shout out to our ESPs and everybody, all of our educators out there. Y'all are amazing and you are everything. And I'm so, so grateful. And first, can we also, Cheryl, I just want to say we love you and we are grateful for you and thank you for all you are and all you do. I am so thankful to have you, not just as an important partner in this work, but as a friend. As someone who really does make me better. And as someone, we talk about the amount of times that we meet, and it is true. We are constantly together and with this whole team. And I can tell you right now, it's not only because it's important, it's because with every single time that we are engaging, working together, we are making our state a better place to be. And I do have to say one more thing as a personal point of privilege. I know how proud Mom is of you. And to this entire team, our remarkable Vice President, Teresa Dudley, just want to say hello and thank you, who I love. Grateful. Our Treasurer, Colleen Morris, want to say thank you for all you are and all you do, Colleen, and bless you. And our fantastic Executive Director, Sean Johnson. This team, it don't get no better than this, man. It really doesn't, and it doesn't get any better than this room. And I, when I was speaking earlier, and Cheryl and I had a chance to talk a little earlier, and she told me that she was going to spend some time yesterday thinking about the theme of the conference, and said she wanted to spend some time talking about voices. And I thought about how powerful it was to be able to have a conference where you're going to center on voices. And I said, you know what? I think I want to come up with another usage. Because when we talk about voices, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what it means also to be seen. And when I say seen, I mean that really from two different perspectives. One is it's the ability to see, and the other is it's the ability to be seen. And when I talk about the ability to see, it means that making sure that each and every one of us have an ability to see ourselves in our work and see ourselves in our future. And I say that in context of this, where, I know right now, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you because I know the burdens, and I'm thankful for the sacrifices that you all are continuing to make for each and every one of us. That this becomes a room of people, that this is a room of people who are waking up before the sun is up. Who before you even leave your house, you are already focused on making sure that you are supporting all of the many students and all of the many people and young people that you are going to have and who are going to interact in your life. The people who, when they first enter into your classrooms, when they first enter into your buildings, when they first enter onto your school buses, you don't pick and choose which ones you see. You see them all, and you see them joyfully because you know they deserve to be seen. That you are the ones who every day are spending time taking money out of your own pockets to make sure that your students are supported. That you're the ones who oftentimes are returning home long after the sun has gone down, and knowing that there is still more work for you to do even as you get back to your home. That you all are the ones who, before you can even get to that work, oftentimes, people forget that you have your own families too. And you're the one standing in and helping your children and supporting your families. For some of you, supporting your parents as well. And then you wake up the next morning, you do it again. You are the definition of public service. You are the definition of public servants. And our state owes you not just thanks, but the biggest debt of gratitude that we could possibly muster. And you make sure that all of our students have an ability to see themselves, and I know this is coming at a time when it is becoming increasingly uneasy to do so. That there are educators all across this country who now find themselves being restricted on what they can teach, on the materials they can use, on the information that actually inspires and touches their students. That we have places in this country that people are saying that books about Roberto Clemente or books about the Holocaust or Between the World and Me, that somehow that is not appropriate material for our children to be able to understand and read. And I want to thank you, because MSEA has been very clear, and I want to be very clear, that as long as I'm the governor of this state, that will not happen in the state of Maryland. Because this is not just a threat to our educators. And it's not even just a threat to our students. It's a threat to our humanity. It's a challenge of who we are. And the thing that really gets me about it sometimes is I hear the arguments that people will sometimes make as to why we're doing it. And they'll say, well, we don't want people to feel discomfort. We don't want people to feel guilt. Let's be very clear, that's not why this is happening. That's not the reasoning. This has nothing to do with discomfort. This has nothing to do with deal with guilt. This has to do with a simple fact that if people understand their history, they will understand their power, and they do not want people understanding their power. If you know where you've come from, if you know what you've overcome, if you know the names and the histories of the people who came before you, there is nothing that stands in front of you that will intimidate you. I want people to know our history, all of it. Its flaws and its glories. I want people to know the sacrifices that people made in order for us to be here. And I want people to remember their names. You know, we started off on inauguration morning. Many of you were there. On inauguration morning, we were very intentional that we said, you know what, we're going to start off inauguration down at the Annapolis docks. And it wasn't just because it was beautiful, and they are beautiful, and I hope everyone comes to Annapolis and eats and stays and spends and all the things, right? But we start off at the docks for a reason, because those docks was one of this country's first and largest slave ports. We started there. And we had a wreath-laying ceremony, and we honored the ancestors and those who came before us. And then hundreds of us marched. we marched up the street to the State House. Whereas we marched to the State House, I was then inaugurated as the 63rd governor of this state. And the first African-American elected governor in the history of the state of Maryland. But we did it for a reason. We did it for a reason. And it was amazing because literally, I think, as before I was even done giving the oath, you heard some folks who were saying, I can't believe he's starting his inauguration with indoctrination. That's not indoctrination. It's history. And it's understanding that the history is not an exclusive history. The history is a collective one. It's all of our history. It's a journey that we took together. And it's a journey that we needed all of us in order to make happen. That's the power of our history. Is that if we really embrace what our history is all about, we understand that the history is not used to put down some, but that history is used to uplift all. It's used for us to understand just how powerful a society we are, that we are an evolving society, that we are a growing society. And importantly, we are a society that no matter who you are or what your family lineage is, that you have a place in our future too. So I'm thankful for each and every one of you for the fight. I'm thankful for the push. I'm thankful that MSEA has said very clearly, not here. And I'm thankful for the fact that for each and every one of you, you understand that being able to have all of your students understand all of our history, that is the best thing that we can do to prepare them for the world that they are going to inherit. Thank you for the ability to focus on how to make sure that we all see. And also, thank you for the ability to focus on how we can all be seen. I think about my own journey. And I know that my life has been littered with luck. Because when I think about my journey, if you look at the basic indicators that people oftentimes look at individuals and children and the traumas they go through, people would not be able to look at my journey and say this makes any sense. But my life has been littered with luck, but I know that our focus and the reason that we do the work every day that we do is that luck should not have to be a prerequisite for our children to be successful. That no matter who you are, he's so cute.
He was at your Ronnie Beard. They were at their.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I remember. What's going on, Ronnie? Oh no, it is all good. You are giving me life right now. I'm good. This is what it's all about. But it's the ability to make sure that all of us are going to be seen. Right? And I think about the people who I repeatedly had in my life, the educators who I had in my life, who made sure that I was seen. I was speaking last week about a Spanish teacher that I had, Senora Rothstein, and how and it's a record that I'm not proud of now, but I had some challenges when I was coming up. And I had literally been kicked out of every single class that I'd had for my 7th grade year, with the exception of one, my Spanish class. And finally, this must have been probably towards November, December. I was acting up in Senora Rothstein's class, and finally she said, and she told me, she's like, get out and go to the principal's office. And so I went to the principal's office, and I know exactly where it was because I was there all the time. And I went to my seat, which almost felt like my assigned seat at that point in life. And she came into the classroom, and I will never forget this. She came into the classroom, and she came into the principal's office. I'm sitting there with the principal and Senora Rothstein, and she has tears in her eyes. And I was like taken back by the fact that she was emotional standing there. And she said to the principal, she said, do you know the thing that hurts me the most? It's not what he's doing to me, it's what he's doing to himself. And she said, what hurts me the most is, he doesn't understand how smart he is. I had never had someone say that about me, that I was smart. And I remember sitting there looking at her with tears in her eyes and frustration all over her. But knowing that the frustration was not about her, it was about me. And how it hit me so hard that I remember the next day I went in and I sat at the front of her class, and I stayed there for the rest of the year. I worked so hard that year, but it's because I knew that she saw me in a way that others had not. I think about my 11th grade social studies and history teacher who had an amazing way of making things as dry as the Federalist Papers come to life. I was like, oh, this is fascinating. But also talked about the importance of our history and understanding that even though, as I was first learning about the history of our founding documents and how even though it was very, very clear that when those founding documents were being written, I really wasn't being thought about. He was the first one who helped me to understand, actually, you were. And that's why you need to take as much ownership on our future and as much ownership on our society as anybody else. The ability to be seen. And honestly, I think that's why I'm so grateful to be here, because that's exactly what you all gave to myself and Aruna Miller last year. I love that you were able to play that video because I remember coming back. It's the greatest. Yeah, I had no voice. And it's true. I was literally, so we were on our way back to Baltimore, and the phone rings, and they're like, get back to College Park. You guys won. I was like, what? So I'm screaming in the vehicle. I'm screaming on the phone. I'm calling. By the time I came back up to say thank you and accept the nomination, I literally had no voice left. You all saw us. You saw us in a way, and frankly, you saw us at a time when most people did not. We were saying it's true. When we first got in this thing, we were polling at 1%. I'm Not Voting was polling higher than Westmore. Politics is a very humbling business, y'all. But you saw us. You saw that here was a guy who was the son of an immigrant single mother. A person who'd come from a long line of, long line of preachers and teachers. That's my family's background. That you were able to see a candidate and you were able to see a guy who had handcuffs on his wrist when he was 11 years old. You were able to see a person who ended up finishing high school and joining the Army at 17 years old, a person who went to a 2-year college, a person who did not have a traditional background, a person who'd never run for office before. In fact, I always say I had to convince a lot of my cousins to vote for me. But it's not because they don't like me. I'm good with my cousins. It's because for many of them, they've never voted. That we don't come from that. That's not my family lineage. And you were able to see us in a very, very crowded primary with a lot of really accomplished people with a lot of letters after their last name and a very long resume that included a lot of things that mine did not. And say, we want to work with them, with Wes Moore and Aruna Miller. I can't tell you enough how much that endorsement didn't only mean to us in terms of the campaign, but what it meant to our spirits and our psychology. You saw us. And I can tell you right now, we are never going to stop seeing you. We are never going to stop believing in you. We are never going to stop supporting you. We are never going to stop investing in you. We are never going to stop advocating for you. We are never going to stop fighting for you. We are never going to stop removing barriers that are standing in your way. Because you've done the same thing for us. And I can tell you right now, we're just getting started. We're in our first months. In our first months, we're able to show a new spirit of partnership, a new spirit of belonging, a new spirit of collaboration, because it's not just going to benefit our children, this is going to benefit our state. And it's the reason that we were proud in our first budget to be able to put together record funding for our K-12 schools. And by the way, that included $900 million for the blueprint for Maryland's future. And ensuring that our educators are getting all the support that they need and deserve. It's why one of the first pieces of legislation that we introduced, that we testified on behalf of, and I was very, very proud to sign, was the Maryland Educator Shortage Reduction Act, and making sure that we're getting you the supports that you need to both recruit and retain the best educators in the country, which are Maryland's educators. And that's why, in our first 10 months, we have raised direct aid to local schools by 10% and invested $1.1 billion in school construction. Because it's not just about supporting our educators and supporting our students. If we are not investing in the infrastructure in the places that you go to work every day, if we are not investing in the transportation assets that you have to not just transport our educators, but our students, if we are not making sure that our students are walking into buildings that reflect the expectations that we have for them, then we are never going to be doing enough. And I promise you, in this administration, we will do that and more. The ability to see, the ability to be seen. That's what you provide for us. An ability to know that our future is remarkably bright regardless of the obstacles that we might have in front of us right now. We know that we have challenging roads ahead. We know that we have both here and across the country and across the globe. We have real obstacles. We have young people who, unfortunately, the top thing on their mind is not necessarily that math class or that science class they have. That they're trying to figure out where their next meal is coming from. That unfortunately, we have circumstances and situations where we have parents and guardians who are feeling so overwhelmed and who want nothing but the best for their children. They're just very unsure right now how exactly they're going to provide that. That we have children who are walking through not just schools, but walking through neighborhoods who are afraid. afraid of their community, or afraid of their own skin and how other people will judge them. We have people right now, and young people, who feel that it's easier to try to be a chameleon than to try to embrace your everyday truth. We know we have challenging days ahead. We know we have a difficult road. But because we have the ability to see and we have the ability to make sure people are seen, we know that we've had tough roads before. And still I rise. We know that we have a unique opportunity and a unique moment now to take all of our power, to take all of our strength, to take all of our history, to take all of our love, to take all of our commitment, to take all of our service, and to know that we can and we will build a society that those who came before us, that they hope for. And those who come after us, that they deserve. We are not just standing on remarkable shoulders. Our state is standing on yours. Our state will be better because you're going to lead the way. And I'm thankful that for the next 8 years, I am thrilled and grateful to be your partners inside of this work. Thank you for seeing us. Thank you for seeing our students. Thank you for seeing our state. This is going to be Maryland's decade, and you are going to lead the charge in order for us to get there. God bless you all, and thank you so much for all you do. Thank you.